Hello everybody. Alright, you know me, I can't get enough of this mason jar. So here we have the mason jar from our last round. You can still see the 1/4 inch floating in there. We're not going to worry about that. We leave that in there. We're not done with you. We use it later. So what I do have here is my thermal glass wick tube. Right there. So that's a 3/4 thermal glass tube and 1/8 fiberglass. I sell both of these, and I'd like to show what kind of a flame these guys put off. So we're just going to shove that in there. Get the wick in there. Try to get it. I'm going to go ahead and shove it in there quite a little bit, get it all nice and soaky. And then, how are we going to do this? There we go. I might have to trim it just because to get it back through. Yeah, I think it's going to require a trim. I made a mistake of pulling that out. Alright, let's do a trim. Let's go get some scissors. Alright, that should do it. Now let me put it through. Normally the way to do it is you do it at the other end. In fact, why don't I not be fighting? And we'll do it the way it should be done. So you take the cone end right here, and that is much easier to get in and through. Everything's wet here, so it's a little harder. It's easy to do this with a dry wick. It's going to go the other way, but you know what? He just did a great job of priming it that way, huh? Alright. So we're just going to go like this. That through like that. Now that wick is going to be good and primed too. That worked out okay. Oh man, look at that. It's just liquid soaking off of that. You know what? I won't even have to pour any oil down the top of that because that is good and wet. As always, you get your hands soaked, you try them. You want to burst into flames. Make a funny highlight video, but not for me. Be good for all you. Alright. So there we go. Thermal glass wick tube. Get you a little bit closer here. So we have 3/4 of an inch sticking out here, and I think you are going to be amazed the kind of flame this is going to put off. Moment of truth. I'm scared. Oop. Yeah, I think the wick got wet. This lamp has been sitting outside for so long. It's completely soaked in water. That's what happens if you leave your lamp outdoors. We're going to have to get a fresh wick and show the difference between a wick that's been sitting outside for a season. It's having a lot of trouble, huh? Tell you what we're going to do. We don't pull any punches here. So this wick right here had been sitting outdoors for maybe a year. Probably a year. And probably got rained on a few times. Then we dumped out everything that was in there. But I'm pretty sure the wick, it did what a wick does and held water. So it's having trouble making a flame here. So I'm going to try blowing this out, priming it, see if that makes a difference. And then I'm going to do another one with a clean, fresh wick that's never been used before, and we'll see what that does. So we're going to turn off the camera for a second. I'm going to try blowing. Actually, no, let's do it all right here. There we go. Alright. I think the problem here is our wick got saturated with water over a season of just being outdoors. Again, we're going to dry it up because I made a mess on the outside here. We're all good. Let's give it a light. Well, giving it a good prime certainly made a difference here. It's popping and fizzing. I'm definitely going to say that there's a bunch of water saturation that got in that wick while it was sitting outdoors for so long. But I think it's going to work. I think it's going to pull and stay lit. We'll see. Well, I think what's the lesson here? Don't leave your wick out in the weather, huh? So we're going to do another round here. Then I'm going to shut off the video and we're going to go down to the garage and get ourselves some fresh clean wick. And we're going to run some fresh clean wick and we're going to show what fresh clean wick looks like. Look at that. It won't even stay lit. I'd say it's fully saturated with water and won't absorb any oil. Alright, that's what we do here. We do testing. Alright, next test will be with fresh clean wick that hasn't been sitting outside for a year. Okay, we ran and got ourselves some 1/8 inch wick that's not wet. Cut ourselves some of that wick. There we go. Okay, we're going to give ourselves some good nice ends to start with. Hopefully we haven't contaminated the oil. So we're going to pull this out. Get rid of that. That's no good. Put in some fresh clean stuff. Again, we're going to put it through the big cone den. That should hopefully help make it easier to get in. See how much easier dry wick goes in there. Okay, let's not be completely unintelligent and I'll get that started. Oh. Do you see? Nobody's perfect. Alright. Just going to put that down in. Good and soaked. We're going to prime it anyway. We don't pull any punches here. We're all about real testing. Okay. Do a little quick prime on that. That was a waste. There we go. Dry up the excess. Which in that case is a lot. You know what? We're going to go ahead and throw all this in a bag and get it out of here because lamp oil doesn't smell fantastic necessarily. But in an emergency situation, I'd rather have light than nothing. Okay, it's been primed. Probably could do better. You see that we're hardly giving it any time to soak. It was just a couple seconds, and I just poured what would go down. Maybe it'd be a good idea to shake, shake, shake. Give it a little shake, shake. Give it a little shake, shake. Get all that wet. Get it all wet now. Get wet now. There we go. Alright. All the flammable stuff away from here. We've dried. Hands got a little bit wet. Let's dry them again. There we go. Always have a fire extinguisher and a source of water nearby. Whoa. Look at that. Holy smokes. Windows are open. So that's a fresh wick. That's what a dry wick looks like that you've wetted with oil. So last one had been sitting on a patio for, gosh, it must have been at least a year. We used to use that outside. So this is 3/4 of an inch of fiberglass, 1/8 fiberglass showing, thermal glass wick tube. We'll see what we're able to do here. Could probably even give it a little less reveal. Maybe we'll do our next test. We'll snip off the burnt piece and we'll do our next test with maybe a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch showing. So you see here, this almost had no time to soak. Ideally, you'd want to let your wick soak for, gosh, at least a 1/2 hour probably. But here I wanted to see what we could do, quick time. So I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this in the bathroom and see how this does in the bathroom compared with the flat cotton wick. So that's going to stop the camera, that'll be next. Okay, here we are in the bathroom. This is where I can create a virtually dark environment. I would say this is putting off at least as much light as the 3/4 flat cotton that we had pulled through here before. So we have a 3/4 inch reveal here, and we're going to try doing a little bit less of a reveal and see if we get a more impressive flame. So I'm going to go down to like a 1/4 inch showing and see what that does. I'll snip off the burnt end and we'll go from there. I'd say this is enough light to brush my teeth. I don't think you could do your hair by this light, maybe if you had a couple of these going. But you could probably take a shower in a pinch if you had to by this light. So now we're back in the kitchen. We're going to blow this out and snip off a little piece and see what happens here. It's a little bit warm. Thermal glass is definitely hot. You should let that cool for a minute. I think what we're going to do is, just for speed and expediency, there we go. I'm going to run the next test with just a 1/4 inch showing. It's about a 1/2. It's about a 1/4 inch. Last time when I made these, I was actually very impressed with how much just even a 1/4 inch of this exposed would do. So I'd like to do that test again. This is 1/4 inch showing. It's interesting, as I would almost say that's putting out the same amount of flame as when we had 3/4 of an inch showing. That's a nice flame. I think ideally the thermal glass wick tube likes to have just a little bit of the fiberglass exposed. It works better with just a tiny bit exposed. You don't need to have, I had this much showing and now I have just barely that much. So we're We'll take this to the bathroom and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, here we are in the bathroom again. We're able to create almost a dark environment in here. I'd almost say we're getting more light with less wick exposed. So this is a 1/4 inch of wick exposed. That's a little better. Still not quite enough to do your hair by, I don't think, but you know, if you had 3 of these lamps in here, it might be another story. So we're going to wrap up this test right here. This is a mason jar with a 1/4 inch hole drilled in it, running a 3/4 inch thermal glass wick tube. And I think these would do in a pinch and a power failure. Get a couple of these going in each room that you need to do work in, and I think you'd be okay. Thank you.